Hello, students. Welcome back. So this time I'm coming with the NCRT solutions for the chapter life process. In this part, we are going to cover the exercise as well as the blue text questions. So I want you to please get your NCRT textbook, and we will do it simultaneously with the book questions. Okay. So keep your books with you. Let's come back to the first BTQ, which is. By the time you can pause the video and get the book as app, and we are going to cover the BTQ of page number 95 first. What is the first question saying? It is saying, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like human? So in this they are referring that why diffusion is insufficient. Diffusion हमारे है ना सेल्स के थ्रू डिफ्यूजन भी होता है, एंड वी हैव अ स्पेसिफिकली डेडिकेटेड रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम. So why we can't breathe through diffusion and why we have to go for a respiratory system? The answer is pretty obvious. See, first of all, the cells are not in direct contact. Okay, since the cells are not in direct contact with the environment, so the diffusion again is a very slow process. So I'm giving in 3 points. First of all, the cells are not in contact with the environment. Secondly, diffusion is a very slow process, and thirdly, the volume of human body is so big that oxygen cannot diffuse into all of the internal cells. So that is the basic 3 points which you can give in the particular answer. First of all, cells are not in direct contact with the environment, so diffusion is not that simple. Secondly, diffusion is a very slow process. It is estimated that to reach to each and every cell, ठीक है, रेस्पिरेटरी गैसेस को हर एक सेल तक पहुंचने में कम से कम 3 साल लग जाएंगे अगर डिफ्यूजन प्रोसेस के थ्रू हम लोग कैरी ऑन करते हैं तो. ओके, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Since the volume of human body is so big that the oxygen cannot diffuse into all of the internal cells, right? So the next one is question number 2. We are referring to question number 2 now. What is that? What criteria do we decide whether something is alive or not? That is very simple. Any visible movement, like walking, breathing, or growing. Through this, we can say that the object is, or the substance, or anything, any organism is alive. Okay. Moving on to third question. What are outside raw materials used by an organism? So the outside raw materials are nothing but food, oxygen, and water. Right. Question number 4. What process would you consider essential for maintaining life? So all the main life process, which is including nutrition, respiration, locomotion, excretion, reproduction, etc. जो भी हमने लाइफ प्रोसेस में कवर अप किया है वो सारा का सारा सबसे ज़्यादा एसेंशियल है to maintain the life on earth. So that was BTQ page number 95. Now we'll come down to BTQ page number 101. So we are coming to BTQ page number 101. Question number 1. What are the differences between autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition? I think that's not a difficult question. That's an easy one. So you can go about it. Moving on to the second question. Where do plants get each of the raw materials? Okay. Carbon dioxide through air, water and minerals through soil, chlorophyll, you know that it is present in chloroplast, and solar energy, that is from sun. Moving on to the third question. What is the role of acid in our stomach? Okay, role of acid, question number 3. You know, it kills germs and makes the food acidic. So that is the basic two functions of acid in our stomach. Question number 4. What is the function of digestive enzymes? You know, we've been doing the entire digestive enzymes in the entire digestion process. So what is that? It basically helps in breakdown of complex food into simple water soluble substances. Okay, to convert the complex food into simple water soluble substances, what the basic process of, or the basic function of digestive enzymes. Moving on to the question number 5th part. How is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? You know that the small intestine has small finger-like projections on its wall, known as villi, and it increases the surface area of absorption. So this way, what they do is, this way they can actually go with the absorption process. Okay. Okay, fine. Moving on to the next BTQ that you will find up in page number 105. So page number 105 BTQ, question number 1. What advantage over an aquatic life or an aquatic organism does a terrestrial organism have with regard to obtaining oxygen for respiration? Okay, so the answer is pretty simple. See, the terrestrial organisms, they take oxygen from air, whereas the aquatic organism, they take dissolved oxygen from water. ये बेसिक डिफरेंस है. टेरेस्ट्रियल ऑर्गेनिज्म को ऑक्सीजन जो वो एयर से मिल जाता है, जो कि सफिशेंट अमाउंट में, बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट में. और दूसरी साइड में एक्वेटिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स को कहाँ से मिलता है? वाटर से मिलता है. वाटर में भी किस फॉर्म में है? डिजॉल्व ऑक्सीजन, जिसकी मात्रा यानी कि जिसकी क्वांटिटी कम है. सो दैट इज आई हैव रिटन हियर, एयर हैज़ मोर ऑक्सीजन कंटेंट, वेयर एज if you see water, it has a very less oxygen content, and that too in the dissolved form. So terrestrial organism do not breathe faster unlike the aquatic organism. अगर आप breathing rate देखोगे, aquatic organisms का breathing rate faster है because they need to get more oxygen, that too in a dissolved form. Okay, on the other hand, terrestrial organism, they breathe slowly but they breathe more. Okay, then you get the question number 2 here. Okay, this we have already done it. Still, I have given you a extension to it. What are the different ways in which glucose is oxidized to provide energy? So the first way is glucose converting into pyruvate. It happens in cytoplasm, and everywhere it is happening in the absence of oxygen. ध्यान दीजिएगा, ग्लूकोज पायरुवेट में कन्वर्ट कहाँ पे हो रहा होता है? साइटोप्लाज्म में. कोई भी केस ले लो, और साइटोप्लाज्म में इन दी एब्सेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. देन पायरुवेट माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में एनर्जी, दैट इज 38 ATP मॉलिक्यूल्स with the evolution of carbon dioxide and water. Then you come down to ईस्ट, एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन होता है. ये वाला एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन था. अब एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन होता है ग्लूकोज इन साइटोप्लाज्म इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन, अगेन पायरुवेट, अगेन इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन 2 ATP and ethanol, right? Now the third one, which happens in the muscle cells, again anaerobic respiration, glucose in cytoplasm in the absence of oxygen, pyruvate in the absence of oxygen, that too in the muscle cells, convert into 2 ATP and lactic acid. And you know that if the accumulation of lactic acid is more, it will cause muscle cramps. So these are the filler questions basically. Moving to question number 3, how is oxygen and carbon dioxide transported in human beings? Okay, that's a good question. So you talk about oxygen. Oxygen का main carrier कौन है blood में? It is hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin is the main carrier for oxygen. And if you see carbon dioxide hemoglobin में बहुत कम कंटेंट में होता है, कम क्वांटिटी में होता है. मेनली जितना भी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है वो कहाँ डिजॉल्व हो जाता है? प्लाज्मा में. ब्लड प्लाज्मा में डिजॉल्व होके वो एक्सपेल आउट हो जाता है. सो ऑक्सीजन का मेन कैरियर है हेमोग्लोबिन, और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का मेन कैरियर है ब्लड प्लाज्मा. सो दैट वाज क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. मूविंग टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. Okay, how are lungs designed? This is question number 4 here. How are lungs designed in human beings to maximize the area of exchange of gases? Okay, this answer can also, you can relate it with the about we say, हमने एक क्वेश्चन किया था ना, features of respiratory system, all features of all respiratory organs. Thin walls for easy diffusion, large surface area for maximum air to get maximum air, and richly supplied with blood capillaries. सेम चीज़ है, बस उसको थोड़ा सा लंग्स के रिस्पेक्ट में लिखना है. तो पेयर ऑफ लंग्स है हमारे पास. सो इट इज़ डिजाइन इन सच अ वे दैट दे आर लाइंड विथ थिन मेम्ब्रेन. यू नो वाई थिन मेम्ब्रेन? सो दैट डिफ्यूजन इज ईजी. Similarly, they are provided with smaller tubes known as bronchioles, and they are also provided with many air-like structure, pouch-like structure known as alveoli, through which actual exchange take place, and they are all richly supplied with blood capillaries, because ultimately ये सारा ऑक्सीजन कहाँ पे एब्जॉर्ब होना है? ब्लड में जाके ही एब्जॉर्ब होना है. सो ब्लड कैपिलरीज का रिच नेटवर्क है लंग्स में. सो दैट वाज क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. सो here we are done with page 105 BTQ. Now we'll move on to page number 110. Okay, let's come to page number 110. 110 question BTQ is question number 1. What are the components of transport system in human beings? Okay, so the basic components of transport system in human beings are heart, blood, and the blood vessels. So now what is the basic function of heart? It pumps the blood. Okay, both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. If you go with the function of blood, it carries all the necessary materials which are required by a cell. We have already understood about this. Okay, you can go and check it up in the blood section of your notes. Then about the blood vessels, they are basically arteries, veins, and capillaries. So arteries, they carry blood away from heart. Veins, they carry blood into heart, and ultimately carry capillaries, they connect arteries and veins. So these are the basic components of transport system. Okay, and we have also explained the functions. Moving on to question number 2, why is it necessary to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in mammals and birds? Now, this is a very good question. I have discussed second question here. So let's focus here. It is like a more structured answer. So you know that mammals and birds, they are warm-blooded animals. Now, when I say warm-blooded animals, they can maintain a constant body temperature when by cooling themselves in hot environment and warming themselves in cool environment. So this temperature maintaining ability is there in the warm-blooded animals. Now, in order to do that, they require more oxygen for cellular respiration, which means more cellular respiration means to produce more energy. And if you produce more energy, then they will be able to maintain the body temperature. Therefore, it is necessary for them to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to make a circulatory system more efficient. अल्टीमेटली आंसर अगर वन मार्कर में पूछा जाए तो सिर्फ इतना है, तो टू मेक द सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम मोर एफिशिएंट, बट क्यों करना है उसका आंसर हमने क्या रेफर किया है, बिकॉज दे आर मैमल्स, they are warm-blooded animals. Now, in order to maintain a constant body temperature in different environment, they require energy, and for better energy, they require good rate of cellular respiration, and for good rate of cellular respiration to produce more energy, they require good amount of oxygenated blood. That is why the separation is important. So this can be a potential question in most of the paper, right? Okay, moving on to question number 3. Okay, question number 3, what are the components of the transport system in highly organized plants? You know that whenever we talk about highly organized plants, we talk about the vascular tissues. Now, vascular tissues are nothing but xylem and phloem. Xylem, they transport water and minerals, whereas phloem, they transport food, right? And question number 4, how are water and minerals transported in plants? So अभी यहाँ पे मैंने just refer किया है. For explanation, you can check on to the notes. So water is transported through xylem vessels and tracheids, whereas food is transported through sieve tubes and companion cells. So that was a BTQ from page number 110. Okay, now we'll move on to BTQ page number 112. So 112 BTQ. So this is 112 BTQ. Okay, question number 1, describe the structure and functioning of nephrons. Okay, this you need to check out from your नोट्स, बिकॉज मैंने इसको प्रॉपरली डिटेल तरीके से डायग्राम के साथ एक्सप्लेनेशन के साथ कराया हुआ है. मूविंग टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, व्हाट आर द मेथड्स यूज बाय प्लांट्स टू गेट रिड ऑफ एक्सक्रीटरी प्रोडक्ट्स. ओके, सो इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट गैसियस वेस्ट, तो वो तो स्टोमेटा और लेंटिसेल्स के थ्रू निकल जाता है. इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट लिक्विड एंड सॉलिड वेस्ट, या तो फेलिंग ऑफ फ्रूट्स, पीलिंग ऑफ बार्क, शेडिंग ऑफ लीव्स थ्रू गम्स, रेजन्स एंड raphides. So they get rid of these waste materials through this. Okay, moving on to question number 3, how is the amount of urine regulated? Now this is an important question. See, the amount of urine depends on 2 factors, the amount of excess water and the amount of water reabsorbed. कहाँ पर? In the dissolved waste present in the body. आपके वेस्ट में कितना एक्सेस पानी पड़ा है या आपके वेस्ट में कितना पानी रीअब्जॉर्ब हुआ है, उसके बेसिस पे यूरिन का अमाउंट रेगुलेट होता है. So if there is excess water in the body, then the urine will be in diluted form, that is more water, and if the water is less in your body, then the urine will be in concentrated form. Okay, so when the urine is in concentrated form, it is like dark yellow color, and if the urine is in the diluted form, it is like almost like light yellow or transparent color. So you actually it is a good indicator. If your urine is like dark yellow, that means your body requires more water. सो रेगुलर टाइम इंटरवल्स में हमें पानी पीते ही रहना चाहिए. उससे क्या होता है कि एक तो ब्लड का जो थिकनेस है वो ठीक रहता है, एंड एट द सेम टाइम बॉडी टेम्परेचर भी सही रहता है. सो दैट वाज योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 फ्रॉम 112 पेज BTQ. नाउ विल मूव ऑन टू द एक्सरसाइज क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज सम ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आर वेरी गुड लेवल एंड सम ऑफ देम आर रेपिटेटिव. सो जो रेपिटेटिव है वो तो हम लोग बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके, सो लेट्स फोकस ऑन क्वेश्चन नंबर first of page number 13. Okay, the kidney in human beings are a part of, you know that it is a part of an excretory system, right? So option C. MCQ 2, the xylem and plants are responsible for transport of water, that is option A. Question number 3, the autotrophic mode of nutrition requires all of the above. They require carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, sunlight and everything. Question number 4, the breakdown of pyruvate into carbon dioxide, water and energy. See the products, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, वाटर एंड एनर्जी. कहाँ पे पॉसिबल है? सिर्फ सेलुलर रेस्पिरेशन और कहाँ पे? माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, बिकॉज माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया रिक्वायर्स एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन. ओके, सो दैट इज ऑप्शन बी. क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 देखते हैं, हाउ आर फैट्स डाइजेस्टेड इन आवर बॉडीज, where does this process take place? So digestion of fats takes place in small intestine. It is done by liver through bile which digests fats, and it is also done by intestinal juices which converts fat into fatty acids and glycerol. So this way हम लोग किसको digest करा देते हैं, fats को digest करा देते हैं. Moving on to part 6. Now what is the role of saliva in digestion of food? So first point is that it helps in moistening food. ओके तो वो स्मॉल ग्लोब्यूल्स में हमें एनगल्फ करने में आसान रहता है. देन सलाइवा कंटेन्स सलाइवरी अमाइलेज विच बेसिकली डाइजेस्ट स्टार्च इनटू माल्टोस, बेसिकली इनटू सिंपल शुगर. So that is the function for saliva. Okay, moving on to question number 7. What are the necessary condition for autotrophic nutrition and what are its byproducts? Okay, this we have already done the notes. आप autotrophic nutrition check कर सकते हैं and उनके byproducts भी check कर सकते हैं. It is nothing but oxygen and energy and food when you talk about photosynthesis. So this we have done. Moving to question number 8, again difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration हमने कर रखा है. Proper answer format के लिए आप go to the part where in which we have discussed the respiration. Okay. Then question number 9, how are alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? Now again, alveoli, they are thin walled for easy diffusion. They are richly supplied with network of capillaries, and they are like a balloon like structure, यानी कि to maximize the surface area of exchange of gases. So you can give 3 points to it, right? First one is thin walled for easy diffusion, second one richly supplied with blood capillaries, and the third one is they have a balloon like structure to maximize the area of exchange of gases. Moving to question number 10. Now in question number 10, what they're asking is what would be the consequence of the deficiency of hemoglobin in our bodies? Okay, so when we talk about the deficiency of hemoglobin, first of all you need to understand hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. Okay, because it is the one which actually absorbs the oxygen, right? So it transports oxygen to the body cells. Therefore the deficiency of hemoglobin will cause what? It can affect the oxygen supplying capacity of blood to the cells, and ultimately leading to the deficiency of oxygen in cells, and due to which it can also lead to a concept known as anemia, a disease known as anemia. तो हेमोग्लोबिन के कम होने के वजह से आपकी ऑक्सीजन को एब्जॉर्ब करने की जो कैपेसिटी है सेल से वो कम हो जाएगी, और सेल्स के पास ऑक्सीजन कम पहुंचेगा, और सेल के पास ऑक्सीजन कम पहुंचेगा तो यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट रेस्पिरेशन प्रोसेस स्लो हो जाएगा, एंड अल्टीमेटली इट कैन लीड टू अ डेफिशिएंसी कॉल्ड deficiency of hemoglobin can cause anemia. Okay, so that was question number 10 there. We'll move on to question number 11, double circulation. This we have done in your notes, you can check it from there. And what are the difference between transport system in xylem and phloem? Again, this you have to check it from notes, we have properly given in a answer format. Now the question number 13, it is important, and they're asking compare the functioning of alveoli in lungs as well as nephrons in kidneys with respect to their structure and functioning. Okay, the structure you can check it from notes. Now functioning में हम लोग जरा देखते हैं. If you see alveoli they are having tiny air sacs or air pouches, but if you see nephron, a nephron has a glomerulus and tubule. Okay, so हमें differentiate करना इस तरीके से. alveoli में tiny air pouches है जो कि lungs में है, और नेफ्रॉन में ग्लोमेरुलस और टिब्यूल्स है. अगर आपको बड़ा करना है आंसर तो आप एक पॉइंट ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो, एल्वेलाइज आर प्रेजेंट इन लंग्स एंड नेफ्रॉन्स आर प्रेजेंट इन किडनी. सो नीड नॉट टू बी अ स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट इन दैट. ओके, पॉइंट 2 देखिए, एल्वेलाई जो है इट इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम, वेयर एज नेफ्रॉन्स इट इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम. ओके, एल्वेलाई में दे हैव सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर एंड नेफ्रॉन में दे हैव ट्यूब्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर. alveoli में blood is supplied to pulmonary veins, whereas nephrons में blood is supplied to renal veins. Okay, you know what are pulmonary and renal veins. Then fifth point, alveoli is basically involved in the exchange of gases in lungs, whereas nephrons are basically involved in the blood filtration and production of urine. Okay, so they are entirely different things, they're doing the different things. And if you see the number, alveoli, it is approximately 480 million in each lung, but if you compare nephrons, they have 1.5 million in each kidney. So that is a range of difference we have with alveoli and nephrons. Okay, so that goes by our 13th question there. So this is an important one. You can some of the board papers, they have asked a direct format of this question. Okay, So this way we have completed our exercise question and the blue text question. Make sure you go through this and make a proper note of the work. I mean, the NCRT questions and the blue text questions. Okay. And if you face any difficulty in understanding the concept, do let me know. By this part, we have completed each and every section of life process. Okay, starting from notes till end of the exercise work. So I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much, everyone, and take care all.